Hello there, I'm Anne Edwards, and thanks for joining us on Face Off. Now, he is a Barisan national man at heart, but he has called for change within the party. He's only echoing what many also aspire to do, and he's reiterating that call that was made in 2006. Dato Saifuddin Abdullah, who is on Face Off today. Welcome, Dato.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm all right.
Great. Enjoying the fasting month?
Oh, well, we should be working more because less time to do something else like eating.
Thanks for joining us also, Ernie Chen, our resident guest. Can you recap some of the changes that you have been calling for so far?
Well, it's new politics, basically. And by new politics, I mean bringing our political discourse to a higher level, and also, more importantly, to practice a new culture of politics, doing politics in a different way. You know, like say no to gutter politics and money politics and corruption and something like that. And there are like four major what do you call thrusts of new politics: integrity.
Integrity.
And new governance framework, meaning all the stakeholders working together, and innovations in democracy and progressive political thoughts.
Okay.
Is that happening in UMNO currently?
Wow, that's a very tough question.
Do the rest
Well,
in UMNO want that?
I think it is gaining some kind of, I wouldn't use the word momentum, but some reception. Let's put it this way. I think what Dato' Najib is trying to do, the political transformation, beginning with the amendment to UMNO Constitution, like for instance, instead of the less than 3,000 delegates coming to Kuala Lumpur and find you a prospective Prime Minister as being the President of UMNO.
Thank you.
Now you have 146,000 people from 191 constituencies who are going to vote for the next.
So more.
Yeah, so it's more participatory, and we bring in more young leaders like the Pemuda and the Putri to the division meetings and also to the national meetings, so that it's like an increase of 30% of younger ones. But more importantly, I think is some of the transformation that he's trying to do with the government transformation program. So there is some reception to not necessarily new politics, but new way of doing things.
Are the other parties, such as MCA, MIC, aligned with what UMNO is trying to do, Barisan National itself?
Barisan National.
I think the thing is like this. It is even more important to look at what the people are looking at, rather than just my way of saying. Yeah, I think the current situation is best represented by the GE 13 result. Why is it that more than half of the voters voted the other side?
Sure.
I mean, voted for my friends and
In terms of your friends, of course.
Why?
Because
you see, people are talking about democratic issues, which among others is about integrity, about innovations. So that is the kind of acceptability, I think, on the ground.
But I hardly think that it's really accepted, or even accepted minimally in Barisan National, given the fact that even when rallies are held, that is something which is so seen as something very uncomfortable to the ruling coalition.
I think the thing is like this, like in any organization, and more so in political parties like Barisan National as a whole, those who are considered reformist or liberal are not only minority, small minority. The biggest number are people who are yes, Mr. Chairman, or yes, Mr. President. And then you have the old guards. You can call them the ultras or the right wings.
The Mahathir era?
I won't go into that. but they are the old guards, the righties.
Okay.
So what is needed is really for the Prime Minister to show more leadership, to be more bold in making decisions.
Is Dato' Seri not bold enough? Is that what you're implying?
He is bold, but I wish he is bold enough.
Is it because he still wants to maintain the support that he has within the party? It's not something
I
which
think
is easy to do.
To be fair to him, I think he is looking at the coming UMNO election, he's worried about the movement to the right. He is probably positioning his transformation program within UMNO, and I think in a nutshell, the moment he is returned as UMNO president, and best scenario will be UMNO Supreme Council will have more people who buy in transformation.
Sure.
Yeah. Then he will be more robust in bringing up more reform.
Yeah.
You are definitely very progressive, as seen by many, and a lot of people foresee that you
Even
will be
on the dark side.
a very good potential to be a good Prime Minister of Malaysia.
Which has been mentioned by
By
even
a lot of
opposition
fans out
leaders,
there, you
including
see.
opposition leaders.
Correct.
Really. Yeah.
Would you agree that that would be something that you should be looking forward to?
Well, first of all, I'm a reluctant politician. I joined politics simply because I wanted to do certain things, though not very successful so far. But I'm not very ambitious. Yeah.
So there's no ambition to become the Prime Minister to help make those changes and transformations?
You see, in the current political scenario, where politics, we have moved into the third stage of democracy, where democracy is not just about political party and politics. Leadership is not just about being Prime Minister.
It's also about the people.
It's also about the people, and if you can influence results, if you can influence a decision, things can happen.
But that has not happened because you lost in your seat, and the people have not really supported you there, even though you are an influential person. You wanted to do a lot for the people, but the people don't seem to support that. Was that the cause of your downfall, by being so progressive and vocal?
And because of your liberal thinking and views as well, you're not exactly supported by people in UMNO as well.
Okay.
So not from the people, not from UMNO. So where do you stand?
All right. In the case of Temerloh, in the last GE13,
Sure.
I commissioned the University of Malaya Center for Democracy and Election, UMCDEL, to do a survey. They went down, they have their respondents. Two major factors why I lost. It's not about new politics and the thing that I do, because Temerloh is a 50% urban and 50% rural constituency. The two major factors are, number one, there was the Chinese vote swing. Though I never use the word Chinese tsunami, because I seek to find out the reason behind, and I will tell you later why.
You don't agree with Chinese tsunami?
I don't like to use that term because, I mean, even if it happened, I don't blame the Chinese. I'm trying to understand why. Second is because there is this general perception that BN has an integrity problem. So it's not just the Chinese swing. There is also the Malay flash flood, if you like. So because of that, you see, politics have changed since 20 years ago, and that is why, to be exact, since 1999, 1999 election. In 2004, BN had a very big win, but I have already seen the slide in the popular vote, even though at that time it was below 1%. That is why in 2006 I decided to start writing about new politics.
Do you think it will be a good idea to let the opposition run the country for one term, and for Barisan Nasional to check them and to question them?
Just to
because
see,
they have always been just questioning and no operational deadlines to meet. So they just hantam and hantam.
Everything that BN does is
wrong.
wrong.
So shouldn't it be just give them one term to see what they can really do?
What do you think, Dato'?
What do you think?
I think the best that can happen to Pakatan Rakyat was GE13. I thought
The best, huh? But they say that
I
the
thought-
best is yet to come.
I thought the people have
GE14.
given them that opportunity. But I think, to be fair, what is even more important, I like the current situation where you have states under Pakatan.
Sure.
The federal government is still with Barisan Nasional. So there should be a healthy competition. In Parliament, in the last Parliament, I enjoy looking at people debating about the Auditor General's report.
Sure.
And you can compare states under Pakatan
Sure.
and states under BN. Now that is important.
Sure.
And it will be even better if this current parliament can be more bipartisan
Sure.
in the way they do things. I think that is the biggest.
You sound like you miss
the
parliament.
biggest- Well, of course I miss parliament. Yeah, I lost unfortunately, but I think this parliament is something. And I said this even before GE13.
Yes.
Would you
That's
be
right.
encouraging to bring upon the Pakatan MPs to be on the cabinet if you were the Prime Minister?
Like call it like a coalition.
Well, this has
government.
happened in some countries in the West.
Correct.
That would be good because you sometimes you see, especially in situation where you have Barisan Nasional return to Parliament with the majority seats, but not the
Popular.
popular votes.
Sure.
Popular votes. Yeah.
If the government can be more bipartisan, that will send a very, very important signal that our politics have reached a certain level of maturity where the government can actually appoint a member from the other side of the house to be on the cabinet. It will be a lovely situation.
Create like a need-based party or government rather than a racial one, or make Barisan Nasional, even UMNO, colorblind.
Well, you see, this is interesting. You mentioned colorblind. Most analysts of GE13 was saying that we are so polarized.
That's right.
I would beg to differ. Yes, in certain instances, you can see people voting like, oh, so big Chinese vote to the opposition. But again, you have to understand why. Yeah. But there are also Malays voting for Chinese and Chinese voting for Malays. Yeah. But more importantly, more and more people in Malaysia are becoming colorblind for two reasons. Number one, out of mixed marriage. Yep. Number two, and this credit must be given to Dato' Najib. His One Malaysia concept actually went down very well to the rakyat. UKM did a research
Sure.
in 20 constituencies before GE13, looking at how people perceive unity. And when this question was asked, would you consider yourself a Malaysian first or, in my case, Malay first?
But a lot-
60% answered,
Yeah.
I would consider myself a
Malaysian first. But a lot of people are also saying that the One Malaysia concept does not go down well after GE13, the moment Dato' Sri Najib mentioned that it was a Chinese tsunami.